There are companies that make money. Then there are companies that change the world. And once, maybe twice in a generation, there is a company that does both. SpaceX is not just a rocket company. It is not just a satellite company. It is not even just a space company. It is arguably the most important business ever built by a single human being. And today, we are going to show you exactly why analysts believe it could become the first $100 trillion company in history. The year is 2002. Elon Musk, fresh from selling PayPal to eBay for $1.5 billion, walks into the aerospace industry with a wild idea. He wanted to put humans on Mars. Not in 100 years, not in 50, in his lifetime. The problem? Rockets cost a fortune. A single launch on a traditional rocket could cost up to $450 million. Space was only accessible to governments, and governments moved slowly. So Musk did what no one thought was possible. He built his own rocket company from scratch. He later recalled the moment he approached Russian engineers to buy old rockets. They laughed at him. He said, quote, "I thought to myself, we could build these ourselves." And so he did. SpaceX was founded in Hawthorne, California, with $80 million of Musk's own money. Most people in the industry gave it 2 years before it collapsed. That was 23 years ago.
When you had that third failure in a row, did you think, I need to pack this in?
Never.
Why not?
I don't ever give up.
The early days were brutal. SpaceX's first 3 Falcon 1 launches all failed. Musk had poured nearly his entire fortune into the company. He was broke. He was borrowing money from friends just to survive. Tesla, his other company, was also on the verge of bankruptcy at the same time. Then came the 4th launch, September 28, 2008. Falcon 1 reached orbit. It was the first privately built liquid-fueled rocket in history to do so. Weeks later, NASA awarded SpaceX a $1.6 billion contract. The company was saved. Musk later said, "I never thought we would succeed. I thought we had perhaps a 10% chance." That 10% chance is now worth over $1.5 trillion. Here is the moment the entire aerospace industry stopped laughing. For 60 years, every rocket ever built was designed to be thrown away. One launch, gone. Burned up or crashed into the ocean. That is why space was so expensive. SpaceX changed this completely. In December 2015, the Falcon 9 booster returned from space and landed itself, upright, on 4 legs, back at the launch site. The world watched in disbelief. Musk had said years earlier, quote, "Reusability is the fundamental breakthrough needed to revolutionize access to space." He was right. Today, the Falcon 9 Block 5 version has achieved a 99.81% mission success rate. Single boosters have been flown and landed up to 32 times. What once cost $450 million per launch now costs as little as $67 million on a Falcon 9. SpaceX did not just cut costs, it destroyed the old pricing model entirely. By 2024, SpaceX controlled 85% of all orbital launches on Earth. 85%! The rest of the entire world's aerospace industry shared the remaining 15%. Rockets alone do not make you a $100 trillion company. What does is owning the internet in space. Enter Starlink. Starlink is SpaceX's satellite internet constellation, and it is the fastest growing internet service provider on the planet. As of late 2025, Starlink operates over 9,000 satellites in orbit. That is 65% of every active satellite currently in space, all owned by one company. The subscriber growth is staggering. In 2021, Starlink had 10,000 beta users. By 2022, 1 million. By 2024, 4.6 million. By December 2025, over 9 million subscribers across more than 100 countries. 9 million users in just 4 years. And the revenue? In 2024 alone, Starlink generated $7.7 billion. That was 58% of SpaceX's total revenue. Musk has been clear about the purpose of Starlink. He said, quote, "We need to make enough money from Starlink to fund the development of Starship, and then use Starship to build a city on Mars." Starlink is not the destination. It is the funding mechanism for something far bigger. And now, we get to the asset that could make SpaceX untouchable for the next century: Starship. Starship is the largest and most powerful rocket ever built in human history. Standing at 123 meters tall, it dwarfs the Saturn V rocket that took humans to the moon. It is designed to be fully and rapidly reusable. Both stages, the booster and the ship. In 2024, SpaceX achieved something that looked like science fiction. The Mechazilla launch tower, a giant mechanical arm system, caught the returning Super Heavy booster out of the air, mid-flight, with giant robotic chopsticks. The crowd at Starbase erupted. Musk stood watching and simply said, quote, "The tower has caught the rocket." Simple words for one of the most significant engineering achievements in history. Starship changes everything because of cost. A Falcon 9 launch cost $60 million. Starship, at full reusability, is projected to reduce launch costs to as low as $1 million per mission, possibly lower. When launch costs drop by 98%, the entire space economy explodes. Satellite internet, space tourism, lunar bases, point-to-point travel on Earth, and eventually, Mars.
Once we get solar domestically at scale, and if we're launching Starship at scale, then by far the cheapest way to do AI compute will be in space.
Every major AI company on the planet, OpenAI, Google, Microsoft, Meta, is in a desperate race to build more data centers, more compute, more power, more bandwidth. And all of them have a problem. The Earth is running out of space to put them. Physical land, power grids, undersea cables. The infrastructure of the digital world is hitting a ceiling right here on the ground. Starlink is already solving the bandwidth problem from orbit, but that is just the beginning. The next generation of AI infrastructure, the data centers that will train models we cannot even imagine yet, may not be built on Earth at all. Space-based solar power, orbital computing, satellite-to-satellite data relay at the speed of light through a vacuum, which is actually faster than fiber optic cables on the ground. SpaceX is not just building rockets, it is building the infrastructure layer that the entire AI economy will eventually depend on. Amazon built the roads of the internet and made trillions. SpaceX is building the roads between the planets, and between the satellites, and between the data centers of tomorrow. If any company in the history of civilization is going to reach $100 trillion in value, it will be because it owns the infrastructure that powers the next century of human progress. On Earth, in orbit, and beyond. And right now, only one company is building all three.
When something is important enough, you do it even if the odds are not in your favor. Elon Musk.